I'm still working on it.
Yeah, we all need to follow you.
What about you, Stephanie?
I had a big birthday this year.
Very outspoken, very passionate about the things.
Why do we need this again?
I'm trying to understand. It makes no sense to me. But I'm not a Brit, so I can't.
Hey guys, it's your girl Basia, and today's Tuesday, so you know what's up. It's time for the Ask Basia video podcast. Listen, today I'm so excited. My commentary panel is packed with queens from all over the globe. That's what happens here every Tuesday. You don't know who's pulling up, but you know they're going to be fabulous. And today we, as a part of our happiness series, we're discussing, does money make you happy? And I can already hear some of you all. So to quote Ariana Grande, is happiness really the same price as red bottoms? I don't know. You tell me. And of course, some of you home right now saying, hell yes. And if your money not making you happy, sign me up, write me a check, and send it all to me. Well, not so fast. Not so fast. You hear me? So here to break it down for you, I'm joined by some amazing queens from around the world. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five of us. In the center, actually, let me go in order. Oh, yeah, and I'm in the order. No, in the center. Let's go to the top right. We have the African queen herself, Mrs. Mosha Alain. Maua is a public health specialist who is currently serving as a biostatistician at a pediatric hospital research department. She's Tanzanian, and she's also an African print designer who uses her passion for African print to change the narrative about Africa. Her work is available on YouTube under Ma Afri Styles, and you can follow all her social platforms, but we talk about social platforms later. We're saying welcome back to Canadian superstar, Mrs. Alana Avis is in the building. I've missed you, Queen. Alana was raised in Montreal, Quebec by Trinidad and Tobagonian parents. She's a cybersecurity risk executive and a fitness enthusiast who loves a good effortless fashion moment. Currently, she's also venturing into entrepreneurship, building an e-commerce brand rooted in wellness. We'd also like to welcome back to our panel, Miss Leslie Ann Bailey is in the building. And you know that Leslie Ann Bailey is also, Leslie Ann Bailey, I have to tell you, I'm not seeing your bio today. Okay. But I'll tell you. It's so funny. Okay, so Leslie Ann Bailey is an occupational therapist, one of the leading ones in DC. She went to Howard University, and she's just an entrepreneur and a boss, and she's a regular on this podcast. And I messed up, so I'm in trouble after this podcast. We would also like to welcome for the first time to our panel, Ms. Divya Gulati Chopra. And Divya is an Indian American. She has a BSc in finance and accounting. She has held professional positions with Citibank India, among others. Today, she's a successful female entrepreneur, stay-at-home mom, social media guru, and she has used the digital platform to help her grow her successful ethnic jewelry and clothing business. Divya has called Atlanta, Georgia, her home for the past 15 years. In 2020, she made the brave move to start her online business at the beginning of the pandemic. She admits things did not look good for the venture initially. However, she used her background in finance and knowledge of social media to transform her online business and create an exponential growth in sales. Ladies, welcome to our happiness series. I love seeing my ladies on a Tuesday. What I love about this is that I just don't know. Well, I should say the viewers don't know who's pulling up. I know who's pulling up, and I know that they're all fabulous. So welcome.
Hello.
Thank
Hello.
you.
Thank you.
So, this is our happiness series, and we are talking about the topic today is, does money make you happy? And we're going straight to DC. We're going to Leslie Ann Bailey, since she's the only woman in the panel whose bio I forgot. And she also attended the same alma mater as our Vice President, Mrs. Kamala Harris. Yes, Howard University is in the building.
All
So
right.
we're starting with a Howard
Thank you.
alumni. Leslie and Bailey,
Well,
does money make you happy?
uh, my answer to that is no. Unfortunately, I'm sure that won't be most people would think money should make you extremely happy, but for me, it's not. It's not the root of personal happiness for me or satisfaction. Money has its importance in terms of being able to sustain a lifestyle that I like. However, just it's not total happiness for me. I'm one of these people who service is innate for me, and that's part of the reason why I'm in the profession that I'm in, and just so it's a more of a labor of love, and it's not something that I necessarily have done to make a lot of money. So I just feel like in terms of happiness and just being able to just give of myself and to help others and to be of service, that's what matters to me.
Okay.
So it's not money, ladies.
I hear that. So let's go around the world. Now we're gonna touch down in India. Divya, you're a freshman to this panel. Welcome.
Right.
I'm so glad you're joining us.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you for having me.
Shoot.
Money does make me happy, partly, like Leslie said, that it's making me happy because the day I started off online doing my venture, growing my venture, following my passion, and I have grew gradually, and I'm happy about it, and converting my passion into a small business and making money out of it. It does make me happy, but like Leslie said, partly I would say because I would like to give it back to the society because I am getting it. So I would love to give it back to the society, help people who need it to survive. So that's what would make me really happy if I'm able to contribute towards the society, help others, and bring others up in whatever way. So
I get that.
yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. So I would say partly. Yeah.
So now we're going to Africa. Let's see how the Africans think about this. Tanzania, to be specific. I thought the Indians were going to say, yes, money makes me happy. But let's see how the Africans think about it. How about you, Maua? Elaine?
Wow. Well, I'm really happy to be here, first of all, to have this conversation because it's always an interesting conversation.
Yes.
Well, money is important. And I'm thinking of what my mother used to tell me: make sure you use money, and don't let money use you.
Smart mother.
Absolutely, and that always rings in my head. So for me, money is not what brings me happiness. Happiness for me is a state of being. But money is important. So what levels? I think we'll probably talk about it. But so money in on itself, no. But it's not to be dismissed. Money is important because money brings opportunities. Money opens doors to different things. Money gives you experiences. So, but does that really give me happiness? No.
Well, let's go to Canada now. Let's hear what Canada has to say about
Well,
this.
I mean, I'm back, and I think
She's
I'm
back.
on the same page as the other ladies. I would say that, it's kind of silly for you to say money doesn't make you happy because at the end of the day, the world that we live in, without money, it's very hard to just put a roof over your head, put food in your mouth, etc. So money doesn't make me happy. What money actually does for me is allow me to live my life on the terms that I want to, and it's a big stress reliever, right? So for me, it's really about money is my stress reliever, and I live my life on my own terms. That doesn't mean that I'm flying around the world, but it allows me to choose the professions I want to do, not buy what I don't want to buy or what I want to buy, so it's not really, so basically nobody is really going to dictate my life.
Yeah.
I can dictate my own avenue, and I'm very much a person of service as well. So for me, what really makes me happy is doing things for others or teammates, etc. That's really where I get my happiness from. I've made this and I've made this, and I can say in every one of those ranges, I've been unhappy. right?
Yes,
Right?
yeah,
Or
that's,
have
that's,
happiness.
that's
point.
right. That's right.
Good
Okay.
point.
On that point, I want to go back to DC. I want to go back to Leslie and Bailey because one of the things I deliberately started with the question and not with the main topic. I think it's very important if we're going to talk about happiness to define what happiness means to you. So the panel last week, they were very, very, very clear on what happiness means to them. I mean, for me, I'll tell you up front is doing what I love when I want, where I want, with whom I want, whenever I want, however I want. There you go.
Excellent. Exactly.
Yeah.
How about you, Leslie and Billy? How do you define happiness?
Just for me, just being in a state of peace, just being able to not worry about things, right? Just being able to be around loved ones brings me happiness. And as you said, I do agree being able to do the things that I enjoy without
Love.
it being a hardship. So yes, that would make me happy.
Yep, yep. And in my version, if somebody listens to it carefully, they will really understand what it means. Because I said doing what I want also means being of service to others, tithing, helping the food bank, helping St. Jude, helping. I want to be able to do what I want. It don't mean that I want to do it for myself.
Right.
Yeah. So what about you, Moa?
I think I resonate with what you said and what Leslie has shared too. I think it's a lot of it is the state of being it doesn't matter where I am. I could be in a war zone. I could be in a state of being that is at peace within myself. And I think that to me is important. And being there, I'll do anything to be in that state of being, whatever I need to do. And I think out of that comes out, it's almost like when you're in that state of being, you're able to do a lot, to give yourself, to do things even without being paid back.
That's right.
Again, I go to my mother again. She was very influential in my life. She always say, give and walk away. So you can't really do that if you're not happy and content
That's
in
right.
yourself. So
That's so true. So true. So what about you, Divya? How would you define happiness?
I think it's very subjective. It's different for everyone. For me, I think following my passion, doing what I love, makes me happy. Small little things like watching my kids, being with my family, watching my kids grow every year. When especially when they're throwing their tantrums, their behavior is changing every single day.
Yeah.
It's happiness, small little things, being around with my family, especially after pandemic.
Yeah.
We spent so much time together. My husband used to travel a lot, like Monday through Thursday. And then after that, since March last year, we've been home together.
Yeah.
Less social events, more family time. So that's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
Apart from that, my jewelry and my clothing business took off. That is making me happy.
Happy?
Small little things when
That's the money. That's the money.
Yeah. And, I'm making money by following my passion. Not everybody is able to do it.
Yeah.
Doing what I love and converting it into a small venture, small business, and being able to make money out of it is happiness.
It's happiness.
And that's all, I think, on a personal front. But being part of a community, if I'm able to contribute towards another woman who's trying to follow her passion and bring her up in whatever little way, I think I can go to bed peacefully and very happily. I can sleep at peace. So yeah, that's what, for me, happiness is.
I like that. What about you, Alana Avis? How would you define happiness?
I said it earlier, it's really living life on my own terms. So having been subjected to a lot of structure in corporate America for a long time, what makes me happy right now is for me to be able to have the choice to do what I want to do and whom I want to do it with. And with the pandemic as well, what we're talking about, I really, what started to really make me happy is reconnecting with people that you don't have, my friends and my family, but those people that you don't have to explain yourself to. Everything is nice. We help each other out. And we all support each other, whether it be family, work, ventures, entrepreneurship, etc. And that's what's really making me happy right now, is to know that I have a strong circle of friends and family who we're just helping each other.
That's
no
right.
questions asked.
I love that.
Yeah, we call it in our family. We pull up. We show up for each other.
Show up.
We're not going to show up short. We show up for each other. Whenever you need it, I'm there.
Exactly.
That's happiness too. That's
I
a
love
form
that.
of happiness. Yeah. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this particular series and not just a show on happiness is for a very long time, I recognized that unless happiness exists in whatever you're doing, it's not going to be successful. And that's why perhaps I wrote the book. My book is called 30 Days to Lasting Happiness, available on Amazon.com. You can even get it on Basia blog. It's a happiness journal, and it came after a breast cancer diagnosis. One that I was really sure that when I looked at the years before me, I really wasn't getting it right. Something was wrong. It wasn't right. And I realized.
Mhm. Yes. I think Baja was just talking about just what makes us all happy. And I know she was going into her a little bit about her book. And and I do agree. If unless you're happy, you're honestly not
Yes.
going to be able to be successful in many things,
Yes.
and just not only successful in your entrepreneurial ventures, but just also just in your relationships with family and
Correct.
friends
Correct.
and
And
mhm.
I feel if we have to have a podcast that's very successful like this with women
Yeah,
around the world, then we could talk about anything we're trying to do. But
yeah.
if we're not coming to it through the eyes of happiness and gratitude, we're gonna fail.
Right.
Full stop.
That's right.
It's true.
If happiness is not present, relationships don't last. If you're not happy going to that dead end job or whatever, you're not going to stay there. Most people stay in the jobs they love. For, I think I put a quote that I created today saying that, you can't put a price on happiness, but you can something like that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but if you can check the article, you check bashapowell.com.
Mhm.
So you could be in a terrible job at a high price, but you
Hmm.
could enjoy happiness for a low price, and it means everything. It's going to lengthen your days. It's going to prevent you from having lifestyle diseases, etc., etc. So upon coming to that realization, I'm like, no, we need to do a series here for our ladies. We need to check in, do mental wellness check, make sure that we all identify that this is where every business venture, every lasting relationship, everything starts. So if something is all right, press a button, reset.
Cool.
So this new series was kind of like a reset for me, because not because you said like, hey, I'm going to be happy. It means that all forces around you is working in the same going in the same direction as you. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions to reclaim your happiness. I don't know if you feel me. So I arrive at a place in my life where I would say that I am gangster about my happiness. No compromise, no ransom needed, nothing. If I'm to live or if I'm to be alive, I have to be happy. Because if I'm not happy, I'm not living. I'm just alive.
Mm.
And I'm a woman of a particular stage and age. I enjoy the finer things in life. And I can't say that money doesn't make me happy. What I can say, and I'll refer to you, I can say that it can help me maintain happiness. So it doesn't make me happy, but it
Mhm.
doesn't make me unhappy either.
Right.
But it helps me to maintain happiness, because once I go find my inner goddess, get myself together, and I'm able to experience lasting joy,
Mhm.
when money arrives at my doorstep or in my bank account, more precisely, I'm able to have the clarity and the peace that I need to enjoy my money and allow others to enjoy it with me. Is that
Yeah.
a fair position to have, ladies?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of times also, though, it takes some time to actually, we've talked about what makes us happy, and even that was a little bit broader, but sometimes it takes a lot of work to really determine what really it is that makes you happy.
Correct.
So that in itself is a process that
Correct.
Mhm.
Because sometimes we get lost and we
Yeah.
don't really know.
you don't know, and yeah. So I think that that's important to do the work to figure out what really makes you happy in the first
And our therapist, our licensed therapist, will be back to wrap up the series with some of those steps, to take the steps to.
Oh, that's good.
That's very important to know, because you're right. Some people just don't know. It could be, as I said last week, happiness can be staring them in the face and they just don't know. They're like, you
Yep.
know,
Right.
and some people also don't realize the part they play in making others really unhappy, because it feels very normal to them. This is how they operate. It's like operating on a particular frequency. And I can't ask somebody who's operating at this level to not understand that, hey, I ain't got time for that. I need to operate on this level. They're not going to understand it. Until you have been 30,000 feet in the air, you'll never know what it feels like.
Right.
So for me, I, growing up as a little girl in the Caribbean, I also felt that when I grow up, I'm going to be rich and I'm going to have a lot of money and I live happily ever after. Well, that is not altogether true. It doesn't work that way. And I found out the hard way, having left university. We all go and have these fancy degrees, and we have this idea as to how our life is going to turn out. And everything on the inside comes out by the time you arrive at that stage. Yeah. So my question, would you agree that the lack of money can certainly make you unhappy? That's a trick there. And I'm heading to India on that one. Largest population and high poverty.
Yes, and that is true. Lack of money can actually lead to unhappiness, because then you're struggling to survive, support your family, support your kids. Because right now, I think at this part, everybody wants to put their kids in nice schools, have good education, give them good education, everything that they desire. If you don't have that much money, eventually you would be unhappy. So money is definitely very important to have a certain kind of lifestyle.
So it's a maintenance we're talking about. That's why it maintains happiness.
Yes, it maintains happiness. But again, if you're giving back to the society, you are making money and giving back to the society, that gives you, I think, you feel content, you feel satisfied that you are making money and then you're giving it back also. But without money, I think eventually you'd end up being unhappy.
Yeah. And how you feel about that, Moa, Elaine? I mean,
I think that's why I started in the beginning. I say money is necessary. Money is absolutely necessary. And I think a lot of times it's hard. You can find a happy person in poverty.
Yes.
Right? And they're there. There are examples of those. I know they are in my family. But you can also find a very unhappy person in the mansion. So absolutely. So it is so necessary to be able to provide for your family. And I think that gives that state of mind where you're like, okay, even though my family's needs are not as, your family needs can be low up here or some other person is way up there, as long as you can provide for your family, that is important.
That's happiness too.
I can't see how you can say money is not. If you don't have that money, you'll be struggling. You're not happy. You're unsettled. You're going to bed, tired and worried, and that can't be happiness.
No.
So it's important.
What do you think, Leslie and Bailey?
No, I concur. I absolutely agree. It's the importance is there, and you're right. I love that you stated, Moa, that you can find someone who's in a mansion who's not happy, and then you meet people who are don't have the means, but they're just some of the most grateful people and most content in their situation. Maybe they haven't been exposed to other things, so they're content where they are. But certainly, it's needed and it's helpful, and it can help us. Money can assist a community in so many ways. So I do agree with that.
I don't want to cut you ladies, but just all of a sudden the weather has changed drastically.
Oh, yes.
Lightning is flashing and thunder. And I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to keep pressing on. All right? We're going to be quick. All right. So any of you ladies, can you, we always tell people that we are authentic on this platform, or ladies are vulnerable. We're not here to talk about things theoretically, and behave like who, me? Not me. I've never experienced unhappiness. I have experienced unhappiness, and I have had to time and time again be mindful of remaining in the happiness zone and guarding the energies around me because you can be a happy person and then they say birds of a feather hang out together. And then people bring their energies up in here and it mess you up and so on. I mean, are any of you acquainted with this type of thing? And if any one of you has ever struggled with maintaining your happiness? We'll start with you, Alana Avis, since you didn't get the last question.
Yes, I have struggled with happiness, and I'll tell you, it was really rooted in relationships. There was a point that I was very unhappy with the relationships that I had, and that was just trickling down into my entire life. So I really had to work on that because it was making me extremely unhappy, like can't sleep, grinding my jaw. That because I am very family and oriented and friends. So that to me was very difficult.
And sometimes you have to draw the line in order to maintain happiness. You know what I mean? Yeah. What about you, Mawalin?
Oh, wow. I'm trying to think. So I think for the times when I was really unhappy is when I was too far from my family. At one point in my life, I've always been the one going away, going to boarding school early on, going to, the US early, when I was still young. There was one particular point that really tagged in my heart. My mother was not well and she had to be admitted, and my father was I think it's in Japan, and my other brother was in the UK. I was in the US with my other brother, and nobody was close to home. And that brought a state of, depression, like what's going to happen to my mother? And luckily her sister was there, and her sister was a nurse, and she was like, y'all need to calm down. You can't, she's going to be okay. I think that state of being, it made me understand when people are separated from their loved ones, it can bring such state of unhappiness, and that can only really be filled by almost like the sense of knowing that it's going to be all right. You're going to be united. And that has never, left. So I'm conscious every opportunity I get to go to those reunions, to connect and to call it one another, because that is really important, at least in my life. Those connections.
I got that. And what about you, Divya?
For me, the time I was really unhappy has been actually recent. It's been almost a month back. May 25th, I lost my father due to COVID.
Sorry to hear that.
Back in India, he struggled for 1.5 months and he couldn't make it. So so that fear, that stress that I was not with him, he was in the hospital, so he couldn't make it. He couldn't make it back home. And my mother and my father, mom and dad, they both got COVID at the same time.
Yeah.
And I just still feel every day, I can just cry about now.
Yes.
But
I'm sorry to hear that. Be strong.
Yeah, my mom couldn't say bye. She didn't have the closure. I didn't have the closure as a daughter.
Yeah.
My sister, she lives in London. She didn't have the closure. My brother, who was with them, was trying his level best day in, day out, trying to just, make him feel better, doing video calls. He was in the hospital. We weren't allowed in the COVID, in the hospital to visit. Nobody was allowed. So he was secluded. So that makes me really unhappy that when he left, he didn't have
alone. Yes. And we heard a lot of stories like that last year. And so it makes me sad as well,
So that has been the most unhappy moment for me.
Yeah. Just not to represent your experience at all, because I'm terribly sorry for your loss, and I don't understand what it feels like to lose somebody like that. But what it symbolizes for me is that we come into this world alone, and most times we leave alone. And every moment is precious. So it's very important to live your life for you. Make sure you are happy. Make sure whatever you have to do to fix whatever is going on. Make sure when you get up in the morning, your vision is a happy one. that you like the life you are creating for you. It's very important for us to be able to do that and then execute success, because tomorrow is not promised. Nobody saw COVID coming. And despite whatever is going on, if we're not happy, I always say, if I'm not happy, if I'm not making money and I'm not happy, it's not making sense. Simple. On a lighter note, I know that this is particularly for my sisters from the more traditional cultures, right? As the song goes, no money, no love. What are your views in selecting a partner based on money? In several cultures, I mean, a man is ranked higher. Let's face it, India, Africa, come on now. A partner is ranked higher. If he is from an affluent family, or if he has a profession that is almost guaranteed to make him money. Now, we all know, I mean, I didn't grow up in Indian Africa, but we're descendants now from different, so the culture is handed over. How do you feel about that? And I want to make reference to something let you answer that for me first, and then I'll make reference to something Kim Kardashian said about where she's at in her life. Divya, we'll start with you again.
All right.
Is it important to you? Do you think that choosing a man who is basically impoverished results in some amount of unhappiness? And I want you all to be very honest with me, because I'm going to be very honest with y'all.
So choosing a partner who's financially stabilized and all that, I would agree. It's important, but not fully. Again, not completely. For me, according to me, in my point of view, I put respect and compassion a little higher than financial stability.
Yeah.
So if your partner is not compassionate or respectful towards you or your children or your family or your parents, but has all the money in the world,
yeah,
I think there would something still be missing in your life. You'd be happy, but I think there would be a part of you would not be really happy. So I think respect, I'd give a little bit, it's just a little bit higher than a man being financially stable. It's important, very important, but respect is also. While growing up, I'll be honest, I always dreamt of having a partner who's good, who's stabilized, who's financially nice. I always dreamt of, but I think after we got married, money was never a problem. But I think it's just the respect, and I'm so thankful of my husband that I got a partner who is very respectful of his family, kids, of me, and treats me like a queen.
Yeah.
So I think that's what matters. So
okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. What about you, Alana Avis? Do you think it's important that your partner is able to bring money to the table when you're choosing, a mate, a husband?
Yes, I do. I mean, I do think that marriage is a relationship. It's a partnership. I do think that your significant other needs to bring something to the table. And in the world that we live in, money is something that you just need to survive. I'm not saying that they need to be a millionaire, but you need to bring something in. And to the point is the whole respect and being compassionate, having empathy, like you need some soft skills that comes with your money to the table.
With your paycheck.
Correct.
Because I'll overlook a couple zeros for
respect.
The queen of the kingdom.
That's right. Yeah, me too. I feel that. What about you, Leslie and Bailey? Do you think that it's important when a woman is looking for a husband, or her family is looking for the husband, for depending on the culture you come from, that money and the ability to earn well is an important criteria to be considered on that list?
Yes, financial stability is important. And what's also important to me, is the possibility of having that drive, that inner drive, just because you're able to, if you don't have it under a certain profession, you're still able to provide for the family, provide for yourself, and maybe in a similar fashion be able to follow your dreams and materialize those dreams into some financial outcomes that can take care of things.
That's a good point. Drive.
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 Regardless of your money.
Ambition.
What did
Ambition.
tell us?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Take them to school, ladies. Take them to school. Young ladies who are unmarried, are you hearing the criteria right now? Marwale, let's hear what the Africans have to say about this.
They'll be like, bring the cows, bring the money,
The dowry.
bring the dowry.
Bring the dowry.
I mean, it's just, I think within the culture, it was a protective way of making sure that the daughter doesn't just go and become, not being taken care of. This is someone's child. So you have to prove that you are able to take care of this child. And I mean, my husband's from Trinidad, you know that. It's Diana's brother. But he himself went through the same process. So he went through paying, but it wasn't same like if it was an African man,
Right. But he had to pay the
some
dowry.
extent.
What do you
Yeah,
call
to
that?
some extent, you
Do you
had
call
to
it dowry
pay.
as well?
Huh?
Do you call it dowry in Africa?
Yes.
And you call it dowry in India too?
Yes. And it's still there.
You see what I tell you all
Then
about
we
our
need a
culture?
dowry.
We're from different parts of the world and the culture is still the same.
Yes. And it's still there. It's still there.
Yeah.
And they put a lot of importance to that.
Of course.
Yeah.
So you're
And the
trying
thing,
to
It's the other way around, though. I don't know.
Do you have to pay for the guy?
Yes.
oh, really? No, so
Yeah.
the guy
It's
pays
the
the
other
girl.
way around.
Yeah, you see?
So
African women don't joke. You pay for the girl.
And the more education she has, the more the dowry and all of those things. And if you're coming from a prominent family. So, but at the end of the day, I think to echo what the other ladies have mentioned, respect, but the greatest I find to me is ambition. And I can resonate this. I'm happy to share. My husband, when we were getting married, we were very young, and he was just finishing school. And he's a physical therapist, and he wasn't working. I was working. So, but you could sense the drive in him. And now he has his own business. And so to me, the importance of that ambition, when you marry that with respect, right? And he doesn't, he always tells me this, honey, I don't mind if you make more money than me, but I might want to make sure that I take care of you.
That's
And
right.
he will take care of everything.
That's
How
right.
you will make sure. So I think to me, it's their personality, what it is that is driving them.
Yeah.
And they will be able to finance whatever ambitions that they have, and they just need a supporting person to kind of say, you want this, I'm here to support, however we're going to make it work, and we just move along together. So,
well, listen, I'm just going to keep it real with you, queens. For me, it's no romance without finance, right? Don't tell me where you're going. Show me where you're going, right? So that's the ambition, and you better know how to talk to me. So you better put some respect on it. RESPECT, all right?
That's right.
I want everything. This is people say about the most important thing. But there's no most important thing. When you want to marry me, I want it all. Because guess what? You know why? I read your resumes and your bios, and that's just a synopsis at the top of our program. Because we as women, we have to make sure we put a worth in ourselves. Because if we don't feel worthy, ain't nobody gonna see how worthy we are. And if we start dating and at the start of the relationship, you're compromising already. Okay, well, he don't have this. Check. Let's scrape that off. Okay, well, he ain't have this. Oh, well, I could deal with this then. Oh, he don't have it either. All right. Well, at least he have this. You see when you start to talk about at least he has this?
I think that's kind of a problem, yes.
That's a part of the problem because just a small bit of advice. I don't know how long you all queens are married, but I'm touching 20 years in a few months, okay? And however, and my guy treats me like a queen. However, sometimes I have to remind him to treat me like a queen, right? So if he starts off treating you like a peasant, what's gonna happen after 20 years? Nope. I'm always there to remind my husband of what I'm worth whenever he seems to be sleeping, because he says he will never forget. But it's very important. I mean, I might sound like I'm joking, but ask Leslie and Bailey, I'm very serious.
She's serious.
I know she's very
I know, I can tell.
very serious.
Right. Now, for those of you listening on the Ox Basia podcast, you say, well, this woman around materialistic. No, I'm not. I'm a ride or die. I'm a ride or die woman because I'm always focused on a man who can show me where he's going. So along the 20 years, we've had many experiences. You know, we've been millionaires and we've been not millionaires, and we've lost money and we've made money, and I've been there. However, if we lost our money and he just went and sleep,
Exactly.
and he on the couch watching me and saying, well, what are we eating today? We don't have a problem.
That's right.
You
Right.
can't teach ambition, you know.
You can't teach ambition. And as Mawa said, it doesn't matter to me whether I make more money than my husband or he makes more money than me. Because after 20 years, let me tell you something. The courts will tell you, oh, we have any lawyers on this panel? Or no, one person married to one. All money is under the same household. It's community money, right? So it don't matter who bring it in the check. It just matters that a man wants to treat his woman right, take her on a date, respect her, treat her like a queen. You know, I said to somebody recently when I was sharing with them, like, yeah, well, I've been married 20 years this year. And she's like, oh, how you do that, boy? I said, because every time that man sees me, he makes me believe that there's nobody else in the world that he wants to be with.
Beautiful.
The day I stop feeling that, well, I go on.
Right.
But he knows if money is important, we have to make the Benjamins, because how are we going to go on a date and a nice little vacation to keep being in love?
That's true.
But it's true. I
Let's
mean,
keep it real. You all
Yeah,
learn kind of things
yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
Because you just reminded me of when I was dating my husband. I was like 20 years. That time I was 20 years old. I got married when I was 21. And he used to ask me, what do you look for when you're dating somebody? What do you look for that person? Like, I might be dating a very handsome, very good looking, very respectful guy, but money is important. At the end of the day, if you're not...
Money and hygiene is important.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you are not able to provide me and my family, love will eventually disappear.
It'll fade.
In 3 or 4 years, it's going to
Gone.
disappear.
It's
going to
gonna
vanish.
disappear. Yeah,
And the problems
yeah.
would come in. So financial stability, I do agree, is very, very important. You want your man to be independent, making good money, and supporting the family.
And it affects him. So money is important when choosing a partner to find happiness. Let's just put it on the table.
Yes.
We all agree, correct?
Agree.
We all agree.
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. It is very
It's-
important.
It may not
very
make you
important.
happy, but it's extremely important.
That's
Yes.
right.
It will make you unhappy.
It will make you unhappy. You're right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. AT&T played with me today. They just keep knocking me out. Can an AT&T representative come to my house, please? I want to sound off on a few things, and I want to hear what you ladies have to, for our wild card segment. I want to hear what you ladies have to sound off on today. You know, there are a lot of people tripping in this world, and sometimes we just have to sound off. And we'll start with Mawa Alain. What are you sounding off on?
Okay, well, I'm going to sound off on something related to African print. So as some of you know, some of your audience, if they've listened to the past, have heard that I have products that I put under my AfriStyles. And these are mainly like African print. But my thing is that as people learn more of African print, we come to a realization that most of our African prints are made outside the continent.
Really?
And of course, so when I found out that information, of course, I got a little mad and I said, wait a minute.
You mean like
All
in
this
China?
time-
African print is made in China?
Some in China, but most of it in the Netherlands.
What?
And there's a history about it. Yes. There's a history about it. And it all started when they were making these different prints and they were trying to ship it to Indonesia and the Far East. But they stopped in Ghana and the coast. And they found out that all these prints, people started loving them and they were unique. Of course, we all, African people love unique styles and they started using them. And then from then on, they started designing them specifically for the African market, which is slightly different from the Far East market. So, I mean, I don't want to go into a lot of detail.
So
but this
you
is why.
mean they don't only take the slaves, they take the prince too?
But the redeeming, but the redeeming part, I want to leave it in a positive note. But the
Okay.
redeeming part is that there are still unique materials that are made within the continent.
Yeah.
And that's really what my focus is with my
Well, please show us
products.
some of those because I don't
Right.
want any kind of fake African prints.
So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, this
Yes.
is, to me, was a little painful.
Yeah.
But so it kind of gave me a drive to say, you know what, I am going to I love the African print. I'm not going to lie, I still get my Ankara prints. Don't get me twisted.
From
But
Netherlands?
no, from the continent. At least to bring business back to the people in the continent who are distributing.
Good job. All right, I hear that.
Yes, but at the same time, I want to make sure I promote the materials that are actually being produced in the continent. I know in Tanzania there are actual infrastructure and industries that are producing what we call kanga, vitenge, bazes, and different materials. And that's what I sell on my
Afri Styles.
Yes, my Afri Style.
So go support the queen. Real African prince.
Yes.
Leslie and Bailey, what are you sounding off on today? We have to wrap up soon.
Yes. So apparently the very talented and handsome Michael B. Jordan has decided to diversify his portfolio to include rum.
Okay.
But he named the rum Juve. What? And a lot of people are a little upset about it.
But there's a lot of cultural appropriation going on right now.
Yes, I don't like it.
No, I don't like it. As a Trinidadian, and I know a lot of you all have Trinidad husband, that. I just don't like it. Michael B. Jordan, stop it right now.
Back.
Right. No. We don't like that. That is not right. He's out of line. Yeah. Juve is reserved for Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. Full stop. If there's anybody to put a rum called Juve, it's Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly.
Moving right along. We're going to India now. Please.
Right. So
don't tell me anybody is misappropriating Indian culture.
No. So it's going to be regarding my fashion jewelry. The products I deal in. I just want to appreciate that no matter how beautiful pieces we showcase, and I'm just the source. Right now, if I'm getting this opportunity and so many people would be watching, I just want to appreciate all the craftsmen that are putting day in, day out their effort. Small little elements, it takes so much energy, so much effort. Like I would just show you.
You have any? Small piece. You have anything on you? Yeah.
Wow. So this is. I don't know if you all can see it, but so
beautiful.
This is it's called MOP, M-O-P, Mother of Pearls. You must have heard of it. It's a natural gemstone that comes from the inner lining of the shell. That come from the sea, ocean.
Is that in the Hyderabad area, or where they have all the pearls, the special? No?
Yes. So this is like they flatten it. The way they do it, it's flat, smooth.
Yes.
A lot of work goes in, and then they would put all the cubic zirconia. It's about the plating. It's not like just assembling so many things together.
Yeah.
So I'm just the source. I see their posts.
I have to tell you that I can speak in Indian craftsmanship firsthand as well. And they work so hard for very little.
So very little. So that's something I would love to bring it up, that those guys, without them, I don't think I would be where I am right now. So I would like to give all the credit to those people.
That's right. The craftsmen. Yeah.
Yes, craftsmen. So they are extremely talented, creative people.
And women.
And yes, women. And we're just the source.
To
get the stuff, beautiful stuff to my clients.
Yeah.
And
I feel that, and I appreciate that. And we want to say a special shout out to the Indian craftsmen and women.
Yes. Yeah.
What about you, Alana Avis? What are you sounding off on?
Okay, I'm going to sound off today on health and fitness. This is very live and direct because I love all my peoples and I want everybody to be healthy.
Yes.
So the thing with this health and fitness journey, it's especially during the pandemic, everybody has really put a focus on it, and I love to see that. I'm a little bit over the top. But
have you all ever seen her body sink?
So, But what I will say, I'm sounding off because what I want is people to see results. So at the end of the day, the number one tip I have to say is it doesn't matter if you're eating salad or French fries. If it's 1,000-calorie salad or 1,000-calorie French fries, if
Stick
you
to
don't
that.
burn more than 1,000 calories, you're not going to see any results. So this healthy eating requires you to actually burn some calories.
So thank you for making me feel bad about the ice cream I had before.
No, that's fine. Just take 2 extra steps.
No, I'm gonna walk 3 miles this evening if the weather stops.
Hold
the bad
up.
weather.
Very good.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, everybody always says they eat healthy, right? But the thing is that even for me, during the pandemic, I was eating healthy, but I was eating more than I was burning. So at the end of the day, I still ended up being unfit or less fit than I was before. So just a little reminder.
Oh, thank you for the tip. You know, you're the fashion queen and the fitness enthusiast, and so we and you get the results. So clearly, you know something about what you're doing. You know, I just want to remind you all to go follow all these queens on their respective social platforms. You can tell I am at Basia Powell, and on Facebook I'm at Basia TV. But you can find everybody's social handles within the article associated with this broadcast. But you can tell them quickly where to find you. Starting with Maua.
So you can find me at myafristyles.com, or if you go to YouTube, you can search for My Afri or at sorry, there's something flying here. At what's the other one? I'm blanking out.
Well, they'll see it in the article.
Yes.
Divya.
On Instagram, you can find me at store_Revaaz, REVAAZ. And Facebook, if you just look it up as REVAAZ, you would find, women's clothing and jewelry store. So you would find me there.
Okay.
I don't have a website yet, but
it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. Yes, we're getting there. So working on it. So,
okay.
But yeah.
Got you. Lesbian Bailey.
On IG at eyebrows72.
All right. And Alana Avis, you are?
On IG and at beautybfly not dot anything, at beautybfly. And from a professional perspective for cybersecurity risk management, you can find me on LinkedIn under Alana Avis.
Hey, I see y'all. And let me just tell you guys that we are always sounding off every Tuesday. Don't forget to look at us while we're on iTunes, Spotify, BasiaPowell.com. And on YouTube, which we don't promote enough. We are at Basia Powell. You know, we have such a tremendous platform and all the other platforms. I don't think that I promote that enough for you to look at this podcast. But we are always here giving it to you live. We're very authentic. The queens show up and they are always ready to spill the truth. Before we go, I wish I can chat with you ladies some more, but all good things must come to an end. And the reason we created this podcast, as women, we have an obligation to teach women how to treat each other, to lift each other up, instead of being taught to tear each other apart because of race, color, creed, class. Everybody has the right to happiness. It's never too late to push that button and press reset. Happiness can not be rehearsed. It's not fake, you know? When you're committed to maintaining happiness, you have to be brave. You will have to say yes to your life, and it means sometimes saying no to other people. The people who truly love you will understand. If you're alive and you're not happy, you're not living. It's not your job to fix everybody. Remember to be careful what you say about each other, because it takes one to know one. It's your girl Basia. It's all love, positive vibes. You know, happiness heals. And don't forget, when you're looking for that guy,
drive, ambition.
Ambition.
And some coins will work, you know? You need to get that money, honey. All right? I see you guys next week. That's a wrap. It was amazing. Don't forget to follow us all on our respective social platforms. Love you guys. Bye. Cheers.